How's everyone doing? Today's lesson is about aspect ratios found on tires. My goal to teach you about tires is this. Have you ever wondered what happens when you go from maybe small to big tires? Have you ever stopped and wondered, does it affect my speed? Does it affect my odometer? Might even affect your gas mileage? What happens when we go the other way around? We go from big tires to small tires. Will that affect my speed? Well, the reason I teach this is because I don't know, I'm kind of weird. I wanted to figure it out, so I went and found the information needed to calculate this. So first things first, let me show you the problem. Like I said in the video, it's a little bit shorter. You're gonna need that for your notes. That is very important. Your goal, the end result, what we need is to find the value of K. The value of K is found by the circumference of the bigger tire divided by the circumference of the smaller tire. Once you find the value of K, I'm gonna need it to multiply by my odometer, by my speedometer, by my gas mileage. But I will show you how to do two of them so you have it for your notes. Once again, my goal is to find the value of K. How do I do that? I find it the circumference of the tires and divide it by on top of each other. Well, let's take a look at the tires first. This information is in every tire. I know maybe we don't pay attention to that, but like I said, I went ahead and try to teach you about tires. 245 70 R16 is different than 285 75 R16. The numbers have changed. But I will tell you what each one means. So like I said, my end result is to find for the value of K. I'm going to use that K and multiply times this, multiply times this, and multiply times this. So let me get some space so I can do every step. First things first, I got to tell you what those numbers mean. 245. 245 means this equals the width 70. And I will say this is 70%, it's a percentage. This is called the aspect ratio. Once again, that is the aspect ratio. This rim size. You pay close attention, both of them have the same rim size. The difference is the width and the aspect ratio. We went a little bit bigger. For the people that know about vehicles, you know that matters. That matters, but at the end, we're gonna find out how much it matters. So again, this is the width, this is the aspect ratio, this is the rim size. I'm gonna do this side first. Bear with me. If I don't have space to write every single thing, I will use the whole board. So step number one, we'll do it in a separate, different color. We gotta find the height. This is how you find the height. Height equals the width times the aspect ratio. So I will just replace the numbers I have. The width equals this. So 245 times the aspect ratio. If you know about math, you can never use 70%. Never, you cannot use 70%. So the only thing I can do with the percentage is convert it into a decimal. So I gotta move this twice to the left. So the thing I will have here, 0.70. Again, you gotta convert that into a decimal. No percentage can be calculated in math. Obviously, a calculator will do it, but normal people like us, we do the decimal. So if you multiply, it's gonna be like this. 171.5 millimeters. I forgot to mention this. All this is in millimeters. The width is in millimeters. And that is a problem because I gotta get all my answers, not in millimeters, but in inches. So this is very important. Copy this. 1 inch equals 25.4 millimeters. This is very important. 25.4 equals 1 inch. And that's how I'm going to do it, so I can convert all my answers into inches. So 25.4 millimeters. Again, that will give me my answer in inches. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put it over here so I can get space for that side. Once you divide this, again, you should always double check my answer. 6.8. Always 1 decimal place. 1 decimal place. If I have 6.8, it's because probably it could be 6.78, and I rounded it to 6.8. Second step. That is the height. Now I gotta find the diameter. So step number 2. Diameter. Diameter equals 2 times the height plus rim size. 2 times, well, the height I just found it from over here, 6.8. Plus rim size, take it from the information on the top, 16. 16. Put it in the calculator and it should give me my answer. My answer is a total of 29.6. 1 decimal place. 1 decimal place. Always keep those constant. 1 decimal place. Finally, I gotta figure out my circumference. Step number 3. Circumference. The circumference equals pi times the diameter. Just replace it. If you don't have this function in your phone, use the decimal that everybody knows. 3.14 times my diameter from the answer over there. 29.6. 29.6. Let me get my answer. So once you multiply, you should get this. Diameter, 92.9. My end result should be the value of K. And I will repeat this again. The value of K is the circumference of the bigger tire divided by the smaller one. I already mentioned, look, 245, 285. The 70 over here is 75. So that you can assume this is the bigger tire. So I got to figure out the circumference for that one. When I erase all that, like I said, you can copy this. Copy and put it somewhere else. So copy it. I'm gonna do the other side now. I'm gonna leave that. I know this is gonna be different. So this should be faster. The width on this side will match it. On that one, it was 245. On this one's gonna be 285. So 285. Let's see. My aspect ratio, 75. But let me emphasize this. This must be a decimal. So 0.75. You multiply it across, it should give me a total of 213.8 divided by that. Do not forget this one. That's how people get it wrong on my test. 8.4. 1 decimal place. The next one is the diameter. It's basically the thing I just did in the other problem. 2 times the height. 8.4 plus size of the rim. It happens to be the same thing. Put it in your calculator. 32.8. Finally, I gotta go to the last one. 3.14 times my diameter, 32.8. gives me the total of. It's 102 point something, but I'm gonna round it to 103. I believe it was 102.999. So round it to 103. Rounding decimals, I do not teach that. So this is the circumference of the smaller one. Of the circumference. Stop it, copy it. Let me erase everything I do here. Let me go back to the original problem. I told you my objective was to look for the value of K, and I did both of them. Value of K is the circumference of the bigger tire. If you recall, it was 103. Divided by the circumference of the smaller one. Look at the first one I did on that side, 92.9. Once you calculate it, 1.11. For the value of K, I need 2 decimal places for all of them. So my end result was to find this, and I did. Now you take that number and calculate it times that. So 1.11 times 15. We said the guy's mileage was 15 miles per gallon. We found out. We're gonna find out how much it is now with the bigger tire. So if before it was giving you 15 miles per gallon, now it's giving you 16.7. If you ask me, that extra gallon can save you in case you need to reach another gas station. Your odometer is reading 20,000, but when you apply the value of K, your odometer is going to say you traveled 20,000, but in reality you travel 22,200. With the new tires, you are covering more distance. It's bigger. But the one everybody wants to know, once apply this value times 60, your speedometer can say you're going 60. In reality, you're not going at 60. Once you change to bigger tires, you are going at 66.7. Depending on the tires, you might get a ticket. That's why this came across. I figured it out because I got a ticket when I changed from small to big. I was in a school zone. My speedometer was saying I was going at 20. A cop stopped me and said, "No, you're over the limit by 10 miles." I argued with the officer, but at the end he told me, "Did you modify your vehicle?" I said, "Yes, sir." That might be the reason why you're being stopped. So I went in ahead and found out why. Bigger tires, you are going faster. Bigger tires, you cover more distance. Bigger tires can help you save gas. Not only that, make sure the tires are new. The more it gets wore out, the less gas that your vehicle is going to give you. And that, this is the lesson. Aspect ratios found on tires. You cover the homework. Be safe. And this is all for me.